Ladies and gentlemen, let me now have the honor to introduce the keynote speaker of the Symposium 2011, Professor G.L. Pires, who has gracefully accepted our invitation and made himself available today despite his extremely busy schedule as Honorable Minister of External Affairs. Born to a renowned family in 1946, Professor G.L. Pires received his early education at prestigious St. Thomas College, Mount Lavinia, and entered the law faculty of University of Ceylon and completed his Bachelor of Laws with first-class honors in 1967. Subsequently, he earned PhDs from New College, Oxford University as a Rhodes Scholar in 1971 and from the University of Colombo in 1974. Professor Pires started his illustrious academic career as a lecturer in law, University of Colombo in 1968, and became a professor of law in 1975. He was the head of Department of Law and Dean Faculty of Law prior to becoming the Vice Chancellor for 6 years from 1988. Professor Pires has had distinguished fellowships in many prestigious universities such as Oxford, Cambridge, and London. He has many publications to his credit with seminal works in the field of law such as the law of property in Sri Lanka, general principles of criminal liability in Ceylon, law of evidence in Sri Lanka, to name a few. In addition, he has published around 75 academic articles in national and international journals. Entering into politics in 1994, Professor Pires became the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs and Deputy Minister of Finance. Since then, he held many key ministerial portfolios in subsequent regimes, such as Justice and Constitutional Affairs and Ethnic Affairs and National Integration. Currently, Professor Pires renders a yeoman service as a Minister of External Affairs of His Excellency the President Mahinda Rajapaksa's government, providing his intellectual input to strengthen the process of rebuilding the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot make a comprehensive introduction to Professor Pires in the limited time available, considering his voluminous contributions. So without further derails, let me invite you, sir, to deliver the keynote address of our symposium on challenges of post-conflict Sri Lanka. Over to you, sir.
Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Major General Milinda Pires, Vice Chancellor of the Sir John Kotalawala Defence University, Your Excellencies, Vice Chancellors of Universities, Chief of Defence Staff, Commanders of the Army, Navy and Air Force, members of the Kotalawala Defence University, ladies and gentlemen. Major General Milinda Pires, in his remarks to you a few minutes ago, made what I consider to be some very timely and important observations. He referred to the new challenges facing our country. Major General Milinda Pires also referred to the armed forces as a major resource in our country. He also made the exceedingly pertinent point that we now have to address in earnest the new role that should be ascribed to the armed forces in the post-conflict scenario. How do we make the best use of the unique opportunities that we have at our disposal in this country after 30 long years? What is the contribution that could be legitimately expected of the armed forces? What kind of reorientation, adaptation to new circumstances, a certain flexibility and a resilience of mind? What are the attitudinal changes that are necessary? How do we provide for appropriate programs of instruction to enable the armed forces to respond more effectively to the challenges of the post-conflict situation? I'm very happy that the Kotalawala Defence University, under the guidance of Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa as Chairman of the Board of Governors and the Vice Chancellor, have made some useful arrangements to establish links with other universities, to commence innovative programs of instruction, both at the undergraduate and, I was happy to be informed, at the postgraduate level. And to my mind, what is particularly refreshing about the current initiative is your desire to involve the private sector, civil society, and to make this a truly inclusive effort to gain the maximum possible strength from the resources that we have at our command. I think it is a very opportune initiative on your part, and I'm proud and happy to be associated with it. Now, before we address the manner in which the armed forces should respond to contemporary challenges, I would like to say a word about the singular contribution that was made by the armed forces during the period of the conflict. Major General Milinda Pires told us that the victory that was achieved was not something that was contemplated by anybody. Indeed, it was thought to be well nigh impossible. It became a reality because of the combination of several circumstances. The political leadership of His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa, the dedication and the perseverance of Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the perfect rapport between the political and the military leadership, the provision of adequate resources to make victory possible, the handling of Sri Lanka's international relations at that point with particular finesse. And I refer especially to the relationship with India, which Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa has recently commented on. And also the ability of the President to so handle domestic issues as to ensure that the continuing support of the people of Sri Lanka